Hi guys, it's Amy, and you have found Amy Loves Crochet. Thank you so much for clicking on my video today. I sincerely appreciate when you want to come and spend time with me, especially on a video like this, where it is a fail across the board, I think. You know, sometimes I post a video that's called Fail to Fabulous, and we talk about some downs and some ups, but this one just feels like it's all down. Now, I'm not trying to play a woe is me. I don't need a bunch of people to try to cheer me up and stuff. This happens to everybody in the crochet world, outside of, real life as well. But here I was, like pattern after pattern after pattern, something was not working, something was going wrong. So I was kind of putting off this video for a little bit because it does sound like such a downer, but you know me, I am full of energy and full of extra positivity. So we're going to keep on keeping on, and something's going to work out from all of this. So it all started back in, I want to say June, kind of, but even before that. I had seen this yarn at Hobby Lobby before, and I really, really, really wanted it. And then when it finally went on the clearance this year, I got some. I got 8 skeins, and I'm super excited about it. It's called I Love This Chunky, and this is a Painted Canyon colorway. And it's just so amazing. I talked about it before, how excited I was to get it in the sale, because you never know what's going to be on those clearance shelves when you get there. So I'd seen it before. I finally got it June this year, and I was waiting for the most perfect pattern to put it to, and I finally found it, but I didn't. We all love that good old internet, right? You Google search something or use your other search engines. I'm not toting Google by any means. My husband doesn't use Google. And so I'd seen this pattern over and over and over, and I just absolutely love it, and I had to have it. And so I had been searching for patterns or examples or, finished products of the use of this yarn, because I really wanted to see how it would play out. So when I saw this sweater, I just fell in love, and I couldn't get it out of my mind, and I kept going back and looking at it again. And the thing is, about the wonderful old internet, when you search for something, it sometimes gives you additional results that are not part of what you searched for. So specifically, I was putting in, I love this chunky, I love this chunky, 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 and this is a worsted weight pattern. If you know me, you know I do not pay for patterns. I know there's a million beautiful patterns out there that people have gone to really hard work at creating and putting out there for us to purchase, but there's enough out there in the world, between books that I have and magazines that I've got and YouTube and things like that, that I never pay for patterns, ever. But I wanted this one so badly that I did. And I did. It wasn't until I printed it and paid for it and everything that I realized it was for worsted weight. So I'm right back to square one in needing to find a pattern to put this to. Now, I could go out, if I'm, hardcore about this pattern, this sweater, this way, I could go out and buy all the worsted weight, but that's not what I'm about. You know that. So I need to be smarter about it. And so I said to myself, I've got enough of, I moved it over here now, the Ogo leftovers from each of the multiple skeins that I'd purchased, that I knew I could just do a multicolored cardigan in this, or sweater, yeah, cardigan, in this pattern, and I think it would turn out just great, because I really do have so many different colorways. And but that still leaves me at, I have these 8 skeins of chunky, and what am I going to do? So I took one of my days off, and I went to Joann's, and I spent quite a bit of time in there looking for, because I knew they had a bunch of sale going on. It was right after Thanksgiving, and I searched and searched and searched for what they had that could fit this yarn to go with it, like a black or a gray, or whites, or whatever the other colors I might find. And I had a couple ideas, and I lined them up, and I took pictures, and I asked other customers what they thought. And after probably an hour of spending in the yarn aisles trying to match this yarn, I got up to the front, and some of what I had picked up was not on sale like it said it was. And I'm not one to argue stuff. I was so angry that they had, first of all, they had expired sales signs out still. So I was following that one without having looked at what day it actually is. It was the following day and they hadn't taken them down yet. So I was buying 2 get 1 free kind of thing or something like that. Buy 2 get 2 free. And it wasn't honored when I got up to the register. In addition, all yarn was supposed to be 30% off. And even that yarn that didn't get the BOGO thing wasn't coming up as 30% off. So I just said, nope, I don't want any of it. Thank you. Goodbye. And I left. So right back to square one again. So I get home and I don't know, a week, a couple days later, something, I'm searching around, you know, some people shoe shop late at night. I like to yarn shop and then walk away. I've been really, really, really good about all of these sales that have been around Thanksgiving and stuff, that, you know, because they always do the Black Fridays and Black Mondays or whatever. And then they've all extended sales beyond that to that week and whatever. So anyway, I found that some of the yarn that I was looking at Joann's was on sale for the same price that I was going to get the BOGO thing online. And I thought, okay, I'm going for that. And it was like 99-cent shipping or $1.99 shipping or something like that. So I went ahead and bought some of this, Ogo blanket yarn, which I had not yet. You know me, I've got all my Ogo big donuts, but this is not blanket yarn. This is the Colorama. It is a 5, and I had enough 5 or didn't want 5 at the time, so I never ended up getting any, but I bought some, and it's a little bit darker black, I think. Not quite the same. I mean, this is a little bit darker. This is kind of, but the thickness was working out for me, so I got some of these. And I got some grays as well. I thought I can do some gray in there. I don't know if I didn't like the black. Maybe I could use the gray. I don't know. I am struggling at this point because I had already been back to Hobby Lobby and they did not carry the same colors that she was using for the worsted weight in the chunky. And in addition, the listing, she doesn't say how much of each one. She says how much approximate yardage for each size, but not how much of your offsetting colors are you going to need. So I bought 3 blacks and 2 grays. Well, they also had what was called sticky rice colorway. And I thought, rice is white. This is white. Even if it's a little bit to an off-white, it'd probably work out. You know, let's take a look at it. If I was served this color rice, it would be like rancid rice. This is like peach. It's not coming out on camera. This is like peach. This is not white. Do you see the whites in here? This is, if I was served this rice, this is rancid rice. This is not yummy rice. This is not sticky rice. This is peach. This is straight up peach. So I got some of that I was trying to figure out what else could I do with it. Could I put it with that? That's not showing up very well. Some of these peach, some of the colors in this skein go light, super light. So I thought that might go with that, but it kind of doesn't. So I think I'm going to have to return those 4 because, okay, so that's the funny thing. So I bought 2 of those as well. So I bought 3, 2, and 2. Well, then I kind of got click happy or something. When you go to PayPal, when you're on a website to buy something and you go to PayPal, it takes you to PayPal and then it comes back to the website to finish your checkout. And something went goofy and I didn't think that the purchase went through. So I bought it again. So now I've got way more of these than I need and 4 of these that I have to figure out what am I going to do with it because it doesn't go with this and I really don't want just extra yarn. So I bought them for about $4.25, $4.50, something like that. And then the other day I saw that they were on sale even more for $2.37 or something online. So that just felt like wrong. So the next thing that was sort of not going right, I wanted to make a cable hat. I'd wanted to make a cable hat for some time. So I pulled up a couple of different patterns, a couple of different YouTube tutorials, and was watching those. Let's see, who did I watch? Oh, I didn't even write it down because I watched more than one. And what I will do is watch the tutorial and write down the pattern in Amy shorthand. And then that way I can go back to it if I have a question without having to go online and pull it back up and watch the video all over again. So the problem though is that I sometimes write down more than one pattern. You know, in an evening, I'll be working on one blanket over here and pull up tutorials and go, oh, that's cute, and write that down and do some more stitches while she's finishing the row, and then come back and write the next step. And so when I finally put that down and start with what I'm working on, I mixed up my patterns a little bit. So some start with a chain around here and some start with ribbing. So I mixed up the patterns and I didn't start the cables right. And here I'll show you a close-up. You can see all of my errors. And it feels a little bit bulky up at the top, like I got a little extra up here. So I don't know if I did extra rounds or what, but just wonkiness. So I decided to try a different one. And so with this one, I just used a skein of my Just Yarn because I'm still trying to work through that, of course. So the next one that I wanted to do, I like it, but it's not me. And when I set it right on my head, the pom-pom's way back here. Is that the way it's supposed to be? Or is it, are you supposed to wear it up like this closer? Like, because then it's too long and then you don't fold this one. So I wasn't sure what was happening with this. And I had to frog it quite a few times as I began because there is, you start going and you skip some. So of course it's the crossover stitch again, which y'all know is my nemesis or whatever. I'm getting better. You know I've gotten better. I need to stop calling it my nemesis because now he's my friend. But you skip some and then go back to it, you know. And on some rows you go in front of all your stitches, and on other rows you go behind your stitches to give the weaving effect. And I just kept going wrong with it. And so I had to frog it a bunch of times, and that didn't make me happy. It was a beautiful new skein, and I had the yarn barf from hell. So that didn't make me happy. I was snagging it on my glasses. So I have little snag marks along because what the heck is wrong with me? I can't put a hat on without snagging it on my glasses. And then as I was attaching the pom-pom, I pulled out a thread up here with my crochet hook. I got a big snag over here. So it's like full of snags. It's full of wonkiness. I need to tighten this down because it's like, wah, wah, wah. That's not working. The yarn that I used is a 4 worsted weight, just like she used, but she was using a 5mm hook. And you know me from my Ruby Stedman hats, I always use a 4.5mm hook. And this yarn called for a 5.5. So worsted weights that call for different size hooks, I mean, it's almost like you need a 4A and a 4B because worsted weight is not all the same. So it's a little bit tall for what I would think a hat is supposed to fit like, but then the wonkiness of the pom-pom, so that was not working for me. Oh, and I said, so I did this special technique to not twist the chain, and then the chain still got twisted on my beginning section here. So it was like, this again was just wonkiness from Wonkville. I couldn't, one thing right after the other. This one's a little bit lighter. That one is super, the weight, it feels so much tighter, so much dense. That's my word, dense. But it really is pretty. I mean, I really like the stitch, the way it looks when it's done, but it just created me very much stress. So, yeah. So, but yeah, I like the way this one fits better. And then I went to the salon to get my nails done, and you pick a color based on what the little fake nails look like. And this was clearly not that color. When you get your nails dipped, the powder is a little bit different color sometimes than what it's going to look like. And this was far from different. I went neutral, and this is not neutral. And I was at a new place that I went separate from my lady because she was sick, so I didn't want to book from her place. And so another wonk in my Wonkville week. I did want to get into this yarn. Whoops, upside down. This one, I've shown you guys before. This was from a Mary Maxim mystery bag that I got, and it's really, really nice, super duper soft. It's called super soft, and that's for sure. It should be called super duper soft in my book, but it's like a light, you know, a size 3-ish. And so I got started on a pattern to make a scarf, and I thought I would put 2 strands together and use a bigger hook, and I didn't like the way that looked. So I took that out, went down a hook size and just used 1, still didn't like it. So that got rewound, and that will be put to the side. And then there was this pattern. I won't show you in the book yet because I want to refigure it, and I probably will do a tutorial on this, so keep an eye out. But I don't know that it's working for what I was intending it to. It's a super pretty textured stitch. It's actually a cluster front post, a front post cluster. I'd never done that before. I love, you know, we've been doing quite a few front post and back posts lately, especially with ribbing in a hat. But this was new to me, to do a cluster on the front post. So it kind of is a really, really nice texture. It's a lot bigger in with this, the use of this yarn. This is Impeccable Speckle Stripes from Loops and Threads. And this colorway is called Lovey. Lovely? Lovely? Let me cover up. There we go. Let me get a fresh skein. Because you wouldn't necessarily know that this is what this was. You know, when you just see the purple or whatever is showing, there's a little bit. But this is what the yarn is. And so it's really working out very pretty. I do want to use it for something. I didn't want to just frog this and put it back on the shelf. But the edges get kind of funky. When you're doing front posts anyway, it pulls. So it really, you know, they've got you doing double crochets on the side because these are like double crochets, but these pull together so much. The edges are super, super wonky. And then on one side, you've got 2 double crochets on the edge, and the other side, it alternates. So, see them alternating? So this was fun. I enjoyed working on it, but whoops, upside down, like normal. But it just wasn't, I wasn't happy with the way it was working out. And so that's why I was saying these are much thicker and fuller and fatter and bigger than what the picture in the book looked like. So maybe I will go down. I mean, and I didn't think that this was super thick yarn, but I guess so. I mean, here's against the Red Heart with Love that is also super fat for a 4, and those are about the same. So see, this 4 only counts for, or only asks for a 5mm hook, so you can just never tell. And then they're the same thickness as each other, and this one wants a 5.5. So that's how my week of crochet has been going. Like I kept, you know, being able to be happy with my Christmas hat and look forward to the Christmas party, which was also a wonk. So let's add that to this video. I mean, seriously, this is not a normal Amy video. You guys know how upbeat and cheerful and positive I am, but wow, this was a tough one because it just nothing worked right. Nothing worked right. So this might be the last video that I have out for the year, and that I didn't want to end on that note either. I do have a tutorial in the works, but with Christmas coming up this weekend, there's just a lot of last minute things to do, and I'm not going to put the pressure on myself to get a lot of crocheting done or get a video put up. I do think I'm going to have a tutorial out next week sometime, but I'm not going to promise what day it is. You know, I do post every 4 days as I can, and this one's going to be like a week and a half or something. So then after that, beginning in January, I've got a What's in That Tote coming up. So I'm super excited to give you those once a month because those are so fun. And so many of you guys have enjoyed, you know, seeing those again. And I enjoy seeing them again. I videoed it, you know, a few months ago maybe. I had to get the What's in My Totes all done so that I could use my totes and use the things that were in the totes. So you're going to see some things that may be a little bit out of order on that. But yeah, otherwise, I just wanted to get this out there so that it was off my plate, so I could cheer up, you know, about crochet. And I didn't lose my mojo, my Cro-Jo, nothing like that. I'm in a good place. I'm just, you know how it goes when things are just like, okay, that didn't work, that didn't work, that didn't work. Where am I going next? So you can see I've been looking and thinking and picking new patterns out of here, so keep tuned for that. And I just wish you a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Merry everything that you celebrate in your life. It doesn't have to be something that comes on a calendar. It could just be something that's special to you. So I wish you joy and love in all that you do and come across. And I hope that you will come back and see me again in my next video. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.